Eddie, how are you?
One copy goes to me. Okay.
We'll see where it lands. I understand, I'm kind of on the time crunch too.
Yeah, and I kind of felt bad because Mark's got to go to that funeral all by himself today. For his big boy. Bobby's cousin.
Oh.
Be Mark's second.
Oh, okay.
Corey wants to know if you've got a food and beverage plan.
I can go back and look, but I don't remember seeing it at all.
Well, no, wait a minute. No, I haven't seen.
I don't think so.
You're ready to go to sit anything you want.
She just signed this as one that I did that messing with papers and I left out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Signature you can actually read.
Yep, I was pre-med
I was too,
until chemistry.
but I never got to the signature, so I couldn't read it.
My daughter has beautiful handwriting in there. She's an occupational therapist and now that she has to sign so many things, but
Yeah,
I'm like, Chandler.
I used to, in college, both me from the good handwriting, because we had,
Yeah.
you know, it was 100 years ago. We had to write everything, so. And I used to.
Okay, I wasn't here on the 22nd, so I will go back and check my emails and get it done.
I had Ken sign that. Mike wasn't here at that meeting, so, or is that the last minute?
No, Mike wasn't. Mike's not here now.
No. Well, I didn't know if he was supposed to sign that one or not.
No.
so.
He didn't bring him. Stick it right, well, I can put it in the front of mine. I'm actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get one. Not quite ready. Well, I'm not either.
I knew you were gonna be here, but I was like.
Yeah, but those are all boxes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can bring it, definitely.
Sort of like the same gas. You know what it didn't show? I don't see the price of the
Model Y or. I want to say, if I heard you right, Model Y, which is closer to.
Probably is the.
Was it like a 9?
Okay, so we're on.
So I'm like, okay, so you.
Okay, team, it's now 10 o'clock, so let's go ahead and get started. Mike did let me know he's going to be running a little behind, so hopefully he'll be here in a little bit. So basically, this is kind of our wrap-up session, if you will, for our budget session for this year. I know that Debbie sent out all of the updated budgets to everyone, so everyone should have received those in their emails. Shannon sent over a kind of his analysis to everyone, so everyone should have that as well. Everyone hopefully has had a chance to look through that. Bobby, I know you were the one that requested this meeting, so I think I'll start with let you kick things off today if you're ready.
Thank you, Debbie, for working so hard to put all the numbers together. My only statement is going to be, I'm very concerned that we are budgeting almost $1.3 million over estimated receipts across all the funds. And I'll leave it at that.
Well, I think the big thing to keep in mind is the estimate we got from Baker Tilly was prior to the DLGF numbers coming out.
I understand that.
And now that the DLGF numbers are coming out, we're significantly less than that number. And that is before we take into some things like the values that are going to be that Debbie, I know, is working on. I don't know if you've had a chance to finalize all that yet with Jason and.
No, we're waiting on DLGF to fix their error.
So-
They've got a glitch in the computer system.
And that number in the recent past has grown exponentially every year. So, in my running through the numbers here, I think we're going to be pretty close to balanced by the end of the day. I mean, and, we're already significantly different with just the initial stuff that came in on the lits from DLGF. The only thing that the majority of the overage that Bobby's referring to is in the jail lit, but that jail lit as of the end of 2025 on the Baker Tilly estimate as 2.977 million. So you might as well say $3 million in reserves in that fund. So that is one fund that definitely got overspent but got overspent because we're going to have to make some changes come 2028 anyway. And so, other than that fund, in my opinion, I don't see the general fund is basically going to be balanced. It's off a couple $100,000 prior to getting Debbie's numbers. I think we'll actually be under and we could see a growth in the general fund. The only other fund that was slightly off was the highway department. And again, I think we'll see some things increasing there, and they generally have some carryover from year to year. And they're on target looking at their current versus their this year's budget versus their actual spend. They should be on target to have some carryover as well this year. So that's kind of my analysis of looking at it. Shannon, I know you put together a report, so if you'd like to comment and.
If I may, before.
Sure.
we move on to Shannon, I understand the numbers, but when you over budget by 965,000, our receipts for the next year, revenues you don't gain revenues as quickly as you spend them and spend them down. That's my concern.
Now, I sent the report to everyone, just kind of my summary of what it is, and I agree with everything that you went through with what the expectations would look like for revenues. I think we will be very close to balanced except for the jail lit, and we over budgeted it on purpose. So I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has, but that's my opinion.
My only comment I think I made at our last posted budget hearing, and that is we have balanced according to Baker Tilly the last 5 years They use very conservative numbers, and every year in the last 5 years, even after we've given raises, especially a very healthy raise last year based on market values, we keep adding to our general fund balance significantly. Chad, when we started, we had zero balance in general fund.
Negative,
Yeah, negative and a $750,000 deficit in our health and self-funded health insurance fund. We've gotten out of that first year when we had zero or slightly negative. Jason similar said we need to really be striving for a 15% general balance, general fund balance. We reached that within a year and a half. The COVID hit, which we had an inflation rate of 9.3% back in 2022. But we built on that from 15 to eventually another year and a half, 25. He said, great, you need to strive for 50. We got to 50 last year, even with the significant raises that we largely due to various tax increases that we passed. I was for most of them. I think I was the only negative vote on one of them. In retrospect, with what the legislature did this past spring, in retrospect, that probably was wise that we did that because we're in a healthier position than a lot of the 91 other counties. So that said, we ended up last year with a 60%. And he said that's where you need to be because instead of using percentages, the financial advisors are saying we need 6 months of reserves. If the bottom totally dropped out, we have enough reserves to fund the county for 6 months. And we're there because of all the things that I just summarized. I feel good about where we left it a couple weeks ago in our last hearing.
I think another point I would like to make in this budget is that we added the money in to ensure that the commissioners are able to meet the obligation with the city of Newcastle EMSs and ensure that EMS coverage will continue without interruption through the county without an issue and without, in my opinion, having to even look at raising any of the taxes. I don't see any reason now too that we've covered it out of this. And I think all of us agreeable that we did that. Some other things that we definitely took care of is with the state making its massive cuts to the health department. We ensured that the health department was able to continue to operate and continue to take care of this county as Angela has done an excellent job of for several years and through a pandemic. So we ensured that those positions were there. The other thing that I think we have to keep in mind is that this whole thing gets redone in 2 years anyway. All of these tax codes, everything we have according to the state is completely redone. So to upset the apple cart, I'm not a big fan of paying the electric bill out of the savings account, but I really don't think we did that with any case except for potentially the jail lit. And that all gets changed in 28 anyway. So that's my personal opinion of the overall numbers of the budget. I think we pushed the envelope slightly, but I think we're in a very, very good position to do that because of the reserve. So, but I still think other than the jail lit, the only fund that we're going to not see flat is actually we're going to see funds increase. We're going to see PSAP potentially go up. We're going to see some other funds potentially increase with the changes that were made. So we were able to do some things. And so I feel pretty comfortable with the budget as it stands. Do you have any comments there? Go right ahead, Scott.
I'm comfortable with what we've done. I don't see any need to change anything further.
It definitely concerns me to be over budget $965,000 in the jail lit. I realized that there was some intentional work done there, looking to the future and what's going to happen with that. It makes me uncomfortable when you over budget by those kind of dollars. However, recall our conversations through these hearings about why we needed to do that and what we anticipated. But very uncomfortable with that one in particular. The others are the other that are over or just slightly over and are of little concern to me. But 965,000 over is significant.
And I think part of that shift we did with that one again was to give the shot in the arm that we did to the highway department, putting nearly $500,000 back in their bad budget, and a big chunk of that 900 went to give that shot in the arm. So basically we just shifted a few funds that freed up those funds. And you know, while I know $500,000 won't fix all the issues with the bridges, they certainly will give them a shot to get a catch-up period for next year. So, I mean, I know that some of that was also done, and so there was some intentional spending out of the savings account. And I agree, Jay, that's the one that on my sheet that I put together for myself is the one that kind of popped up. That's, you know, that's the biggest number on the sheet. The rest of them are almost flat, and most of them honestly are in the red. We under budgeted. But that one is obviously, it's way up there. But we shifted some things into that fund to free up some funds in the general fund. So, but I appreciate your concern though, because I shared that too when I put together the numbers, but that's how I felt comfortable about it and confident. We still have even doing that, we will still have a very good reserve come the end of next year.
That was going to be my next comment. Even with that over budgeting, there is a fairly significant reserve, including what was set aside to make the bond payments on this facility that we're meeting in.
Yep. So. Anyone have any other comments or questions?
I was simply going to say the only budget that I even raised an eyebrow on was the jail lit. But I think I do lean towards the other things I said and what you and Shannon said. I could live with it. We can't do that every year, but given everything else we balanced and moved around, and given our very healthy general fund balance, and everything is going to just be thrown in the hopper in 28 or for budget year 28, unless the legislature changes their mind, which is probably going to happen, or at least modify. I can live with it. I don't feel great, and I'm not getting the pom-poms out, but I think we've been conservative in the way we've been fiscally managing things. Because of all that, I think we're on solid ground to move forward.
There were several department heads. We didn't anticipate anyone speaking, but everybody took the time out of your busy schedules to show up. So I'm happy to entertain any comments or questions from those departments that are out here, if anyone has anything.
Microphone, Josh.
Sorry, Josh. If you want to grab that and just toss it around, I'm good with that.
Your catch
The box here. That way we can make sure you guys are on the video, please.
The only comment I have is, I think you guys have done a phenomenal job, and I would not want your jobs at all. And you're underpaid for what you do. But I just want to say I appreciate it, on behalf of the sheriff's office, the hard work you guys have put into this. And I know it's not easy. And it's been a long process. So just on, again, behalf of the sheriff's office, I just want to say thank you guys for everything you've done.
Thank you. I think Angela might have, if you could pass that back to Angela, please.
Oh, come on, Josh, you could have thrown it.
So it's called a catch box.
It is a catch box. Goodness, what is that? Can you hear me? If I get back?
Yeah.
Close to the speakers.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Yeah, just.
Sorry, you're getting some extra steps, Angie. Sorry.
Okay. Yes, I will reiterate that. Thank you, and absolutely would not want your jobs. Thank you for all the kind comments for the health department. I certainly didn't do any of this on my own. I have an incredible team of people that you've allowed me. I've got quite a bit of talent behind me that makes everything look good, makes everything run good. I did come to you all at one point concerning the raises and explain to you that if I had to do this on my own, that we would have to cut hours. And so I just wanted to explain to the public why I'm not doing that at this point. It is because you have shifted funds from, I've not been in the general fund for 28 years and now I feel part of the family. I'm kind of part of the general fund now. So thank you for that. And my predecessor will thank you as well. But I just wanted to clarify that because I know there's probably some people going, that hothead was up there saying you weren't taking a raise. So, but it's because of what you did is why the raises. So the only question I do have, when you did do the raises, what did that put us in? Are we in the 97th percentile or?
Yeah, I took,
That's why they were so much. Okay.
Good.
Because I looked at that and they were as much as they were last year, with some of them a little bit more. Okay.
it took every employee for next year's salary to the average wage of this year.
To the average wage of this year.
Yes.
Through the Wagner one. Okay. That was my question. Thank you.
Anyone else have anything they'd like to add? Braden?
Yeah, just a question, I guess. One thing that we talked about last year was we have a bridge 162 that's in federal aid. And I know there was discussions last year about putting back so much money each year for that match money when that job goes to construction. So I just wanted to make sure we haven't lost sight of that. And that is still happening, still the plan.
I wasn't here last year, but though talking to Shannon and Kenan, I know that the discussion was had and because
60. Braden, which bridge was that? Was that one? I'm sorry to interrupt. Which,
162.
that's what I thought. Yep, 162.
and so I know that the decision they made last year was because the funds were so significant in the general fund that they felt comfortable having those numbers set aside already. That in conjunction with the whole world getting rewritten, including the Cume Bridge, when it comes to the 2028 budget, because that has to change as well as part of this new SB1. I definitely think it's still on the radar. And obviously, like I said, I was the one that brought the $500,000 to the table this year to try to help you guys get a shot in the arm for bridges. So bridges are still definitely on the radar. And I think working together, working with your liaison and working with the council next year during the budget session and ensuring where we're at and where we can go forward is definitely something to do. But that being said, as a county as a whole, we've got pushing $15 million in reserves at this point that we'll have access to in 2028.
Okay, I was just making sure we're not losing sight of that. I think it was roughly 800,000.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yep,
Yeah, for Bridge 138 and 162.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. No, you can.
Braden, you might come back. When you say 800,000, but the spreadsheet that I think Joe Copeland and you met with us, 162 County Line, what is that?
County Line South.
Mill Road.
Yes.
Yeah. Construction, 520,000. Inspection, 321,000. Has anything been done on that to date, or has it all been put on hold?
No, they're currently, I don't remember the last update I got, but yes, they're currently doing all the initial environmental, there's a whole utility permitting, there's a whole list of things that have to be done before construction can start.
So is that construction inspection, or is that coming up still? That 321 says construction inspection.
Yeah,
Is
construction has not started yet. Think that job is, construction is 2028, I believe, is when construction starts on that.
that's what it shows. So,
We need to have.
The construction inspections have not started.
so if
Those won't start until actual construction actually starts on.
Okay,
Right now is, environmental, utility,
so is that PE? What's that stand for? Is the E environmental? It says PE 80,000, professional what? Professional engineering?
That's SJCA.
SJCA. I'm not 100% on what the abbreviation stands for on that, to be honest with you.
Okay. And had 80,000 and 24 and 90,000. So you've been so far able to do the 24 and 25 things on that bridge 120, 162.
Yeah.
Okay. So we need to have monies by construction of 2028.
Mhm.
And that's when everything's get thrown in a hopper from the legislature. But right now we're in good shape. And Shannon did share that with all of us, the same spreadsheet you shared last year, which is a good summary of your needs. Are there any roads imminent to be closed? Are we in good shape currently?
Right now, we do not have any, well, we have 400 South closed.
But 400?
Yeah, 400 South, just east of 103, between 103 and 250 East.
Is that airport?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's a bridge, it's closed right now.
okay. That's kind of routine.
No, this is not routine.
So it's a complete bridge replacement?
We don't know yet.
Oh, it's being inspected?
Bridge has been inspected. It does have structural damage. And so the engineers are reviewing the type of damage it has and whether we can open it or have to leave it closed until it's replaced. If it is open, it's probably gonna have a weight limit restriction put on it.
So is it a possibility it has to be closed? And if it is, do you have the monies to?
Absolutely not. That'll
But-
be I mean, depending on if it's a bridge replacement, we're looking at going the federal aid route or
And federal aid was what kind of match? 20?
80-20.
80-20?
Yeah.
And community crossings is off the table this year. Is that correct, you think?
Well, I mean, there's still a chance.
But it's a slimmer chance, right? Given what the legislature put the priority in the large cities like Marion County and railroad crossings, et cetera.
Correct, but we actually are putting together a project to file for community crossings. They've changed the date. It has to be submitted. It's now October 1st. So we're working on putting together a project list to submit by October 1st for community crossings for next year.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's less, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I believe 1 million is a cap on it. They did change the match on it though. It was 75-25, but I believe they changed it to 80-20 on community crossing.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Just real quick, Braden, when will you know? And no crystal ball, but will you know about the bridge on 400 South within the next, what, 6 weeks, 8 weeks?
Honestly, I was hoping to hear something by now.
Oh, okay.
There's several different engineers looking at it, so it's basically phases of engineers. So it starts out at a certain level.
Well, I know Joe Copeland had said that the damage on this one is different than what most any of our bridges, the damage that has.
Yes.
And I don't understand the engineering piece of it
Okay.
and some of the terms that he uses when he's describing the damage on the bridge. But I know that this is a significant damage
So
and different.
kind of the talk that I've been told has been happening is most of the engineers who are reviewing this have not seen this type of damage before. And they're saying it is because it's been severely overloaded at some point in time.
So Bobby was saying it wasn't somebody hit it, it was overload,
Yeah.
overweight limit damaged it.
Over time.
That's what the preliminary reports are, or that's what they're thinking, but there again, the engineers, so far the engineers that's looked at it have not seen this type of damage before, so it's kind of a.
So it's probably
Usual
semis
circumstance.
overloaded or heavyweight over time.
Yeah, I mean, basically right now, from what I've been told is, so this bridge has a pier in the middle of it. And it's cracked at that pier, so potentially if you put too much weight on one side or the other of that pier, you're looking at the bridge folding in half. So,
So I assume this is something you'll take to the commissioners meeting and give them a heads up and then you all.
I mean,
bring it.
they're-
I know that, but as far as, I just know, I appreciate getting all this information, but I don't know that it's really perfect
Well,
to our
it-
budget. So that's where I
the
want
only
to try
thing,
to stay on target here because I want to make sure we're staying.
It was just
we
to
scheduled.
explain why it would be so expensive to
the only
replace
thing I was asking
budget
was
wise.
if we were staying.
Yeah,
on-
and I totally agree with that. Yeah, I just don't want to get too far off into the weeds and cause any issues of what we have advertised here,
Just
you know?
answering questions.
Gotcha. I understand. I just want to make sure we stay within what we have advertised here. So,
Well, it goes back to the cumulative bridge is it's underfunded, which I've brought up for 5 years. But as we've said at previous meeting, we adjust that, it's going to affect others. It's going to affect health, park, 911, and the general fund. So it's a chess match, shell game. I do want to mention Historical Society because it does relate to budget whenever you want me to.
I mean, you can at this point,
Because it was my faux pas. I suggested we raise it. I talked to the commissioners. They were okay with it, and I forgot at the last meeting to bring it up. And if you don't want to entertain it, that's fine. It's kind of like the adjustment did to 4-H a couple years ago. It had been the same $15,000 for decades, and we raised it to 20, and the 27.5 to the Historical Society has been that way for decades. Someone from the Historical Society asked me, and I said I'd bring it up. I forgot. I'm old and forgetful. And I forgot. So it's on me. And it may be too late. No, the commissioners didn't recommend it at the time. It wasn't on their mind or their radar. And I think at the time they were thinking we were going to have to raise taxes to support EMS, and they weren't going to raise anything. After we found out we were in good shape financially in the budget, I still think we are. I asked them and they were okay with it. They were fine with it.
so that's in the county general,
Commissioners,
budget.
that's why and it was informal. It was like at the Moreland Fair, and I talked to them individually at different times. I usually make a phone call to see if there's anything budget wise that's on the radar that's going to have a major effect. I did that for years on the highway department. And I think it was the Christmas affair or event at Historical Society, whoever the head of director of the Historical Society said something. I said, we'll have to wait till the legislative session. And I will say that the projections on revenues for the state has been much more positive than they given to them in April when they made such cuts in everybody. So
Just so everybody else knows where that's at, then in the general fund, commissioners budget, Fund 68. It is on page 18 of the general fund budget. Yeah, 3,000.37, 68-3,000.37.
it's right at 27,450, which I think has been that way. I know it's been that way since I came on in 19. I think it's been that way quite a few years prior. And I just suggested to them somewhere between a 2,500 and 5,000. They had no issue with that. And again, if it's too late to do that, that's on me. That's not on them.
I guess my only concern is I don't have any details on it or how we fund it, or, I mean, I wish the commissioner and Joe just left, but I mean, that's my concern. And Bobby, you may be able to help fill us in a little bit more on what is said. I mean, I know that with others, for example, like the Humane Society, there's contracts in.
There is an agreement in place with the Historical Society.
Yeah, so I don't know that I want to
So-
make changes to the commissioner's budget without the commissioners is my concern.
It was years ago. Because and the reason I say that, when Steve and I first came into the commissioner's office and we got the claim for the 27,000, whatever it was, $450, both of us were like, what's this for? And I'm almost positive we found an agreement. I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive that it was signed years and years and years ago.
Yeah, I guess that's my only
So,
trepidation is
yeah.
that I don't have.
I mean, is it a 12-page agreement? No, I think it's like just a 1-page.
Handshake or a napkin.
Yeah, kind of
Okay.
thing. But yeah, because we questioned because we didn't know. We questioned why, and yeah, so I believe there is an agreement.
I mean, as a thought, I don't have an issue with it, but as practicality, I'm worried about what's in place and the commissioners having to have that discussion and not being here would be my only concern. Because I know there's certain things that are set in place and we don't have the authority to change things on the commissioner's behalf as the council. That's the commissioner's job.
Sure.
So,
And you just have to take my word, they're okay with it, but that's,
well, I understand that, but they would have to change something too. And I
said-
don't,
it's on me.
because and I don't know. Because
It's on
being
me.
okay without approving in an open public meeting is two different things too.
Yeah. It's on me.
So I don't know. What's the thoughts of everyone else? Does anyone else have?
I guess I agree. I think the commissioners should have a conversation with the Historical Society, and if there's some kind of agreement, then that should be adjusted or redone or whatever. And if we need to do an additional appropriation next year after they have those discussions, then we can decide that then.
Is that Bobby, any
Yeah,
further
I
comment?
agree.
Okay, all right. So
I
guess
agree
we'll
with
just
that statement.
Table that if you want to get with Steve and see if they would like to go that, or you or Bobby, I guess. I guess there isn't a liaison for the Historical Society, so yeah, if you would like to do that, then I just don't want to, I don't want to step outside of our lane as I've heard before, so.
Sorry, I didn't speak into the microphone. Yes,
No.
I am the commissioner's liaison, so I will get with Steve.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Anybody or anything else from this committee? Debbie, do you have anything you need to add to this or any questions, concerns?
On the list for judicial and EMS,
Yes.
do we want longevity and everything to come out of those as well, or just?
I think there's funds in there to be able to do that. So that's what I would utilize those lits
Okay.
for those things. Yeah. I mean, that's my opinion. I mean, I'm one of 7 here, but I would think and it looks like, because the judicial lit has a balance, the EMS lit is a small balance in those lits.
Okay.
That would be my opinion, but I'll let the rest of my colleagues speak up.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay. And then the other thing is, we're working on kind of cleaning up some of the zero line stuff. But if you guys notice, in every department now, we have put an individual line for each person so we can name it. So when we're doing budgets, we're not trying to guess how many people come out of general labor at the park. We now know.
I did notice that at first and it kind of freaked me out when I was like, oh, wait a
Yeah.
minute, wait a
It's
minute.
easier on us, but it's, I think, easier on you guys when you do it too. So
Yeah.
that way, everybody is individually.
I think it's cleaner.
That was a lot
I
of
think we
hard
just-
work and we appreciate it.
Yes, I think it's cleaner, but it
She
freaked me
did
out
it.
when I first saw it.
I'm not gonna take credit for it. She did it.
Yeah, I almost called you at like 8:30 at night when I was
Yeah.
going through the budget, but no. Oh, it was an emergency because we were going to be way off if that wasn't the case. So, okay. All right. Anyone have anything else from the council perspective or the commission or the body as a whole? I
Motion to adjourn.
take a motion to adjourn. All right, folks, we're all adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I appreciate it.